जाति नीति कुल गोत्र दूरगम नाम रूप गुण दोष वर्जितम् देश काल विषयातिवर्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यत्परं सकलभागगोचरम् गोचरं विमलबोधचक्षुषः शुद्धचित्खनमनादिवस्तु यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि षड्भिर्निधिरयोगि योगिहृद् भावितं न करणैर्विभावितम् बुद्ध्यवेद्यमनवद्यमस्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि भ्रान्तिकल्पितजगत्कलाश्रयम् स्वाश्रयं च सदसद्विलक्षणम् निष्कलं निरुपमानवद्धि यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि जन्मवृद्धिपरिणत्यपक्षया व्याधिनाशनविहीनमव्ययम् विश्वसृष्ट्यवविघातकारणम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि हस्तभेदमनपास्तलक्षणम् निस्तरङ्गजलराशिनिश्चलम् नित्यमुक्तमविभक्तमूर्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि एकमेव सदनेककारणम् कारणान्तरनिरास्य कारणम् कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि निर्विकल्पकमनल्पमक्षरम् यक्षराक्षरविलक्षणं परम् नित्यमव्ययसुखं निरञ्जनम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यद्विभाति सदनेकधा भ्रमात् नामरूपगुणविक्रियात्मना हेमवत् स्वयमविक्रियं सदा ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यच्च कास्त्यनपरं परात्परम् प्रत्यगेकरसमात्मलक्षणम् सत्यचित्सुखमनन्तमव्ययम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि जाति नीति कुल गोत्र दूरगम नाम रूप गुण दोष वर्जितम् देश काल विषयातिवर्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यत्परं सकलभागगोचरम् गोचरं विमलबोधचक्षुषः शुद्धचित्खनमनादिवस्तु यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि षड्भिरोर्निभिरयोगिहृद् भावितं न करणैर्विभावितम् बुद्ध्यवेद्यमनवद्यमस्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि भ्रान्तिकल्पितजगत्कलाश्रयम् स्वाश्रयं च सदसद्विलक्षणम् निष्कलं निरुपमानवद्धि यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि जन्मवृद्धिपरिणत्यपक्षया व्याधिनाशनविहीनमव्ययम् विश्वसृष्ट्यवविघातकारणम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि हस्तभेदमनपास्तलक्षणम् निस्तरङ्गजलराशिनिश्चलम् नित्यमुक्तमविभक्तमूर्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि एकमेव सदनेककारणम् कारणान्तरविलास्य कारणम् कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि निर्विकल्पकमनमक्षरम् यक्षराक्षरविलक्षणं परम् नित्यमव्ययसुखं निरञ्जनम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यद्विभाति सदनेकधा भ्रमात् नामरूपगुणविक्रियात्मना हेमवत् स्वयमविक्रियं सदा ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यच्च कास्त्यन परम्परात्परम् प्रत्यगेकरसमात्मलक्षणम् सत्यचित्सुखमनन्तमव्ययम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि.
Hari Om, good evening, a very warm welcome to all of you. Please come, let's invoke the power of praying together. asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together, we offer our humble salutations to the Supreme Almighty, who also has the divine names Satya Dharma, to such a omniscient, omnipotent and omnipresent Almighty. With Shraddha, Bhakti and Prapatti, we offer our humble most salutations to seek His grace, His mercy, His love, His blessings, His forgiveness, His compassion, His strength. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities such as Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti and Mumukshutva. This is solely from the point of view of understanding thy true self. Having the first-hand experience of the Aparokshanubhuti, we are all striving extremely hard to have this realization in this very life and life alone. And we know for sure that this can happen only and only by your divine grace and your blessings. So we beseech in you, we beg of you, we pray again and again to grant us this rarest of the rare opportunity. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat.
Paramanandam
Today, by the grace of the Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 474, doing the text VIVEKA CHOODAMANI, Nidhidhyasana, the meditative shlokas, third session, on the 28th of April 2026. Swasti Shri Parabhava Nama Samvatsara Vasanta Rutu Vaishaka Masa Shukla Paksha Dwadashyatito Uttara Nakshatra Vyaghaya Nama Yoge Balavakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all once again reaffirm, re-establish ourselves in the divine solemn oath, Naham Karta Hari Karta Hari Preranaya Hari Prityartham. Everything is ordained, executed and completed by that divine and divine alone. Knowing thy true self is the very purpose of our life. We all are so blessed to have this rarest of the rare privilege, pursuing this endeavor to the very core, keeping this as the topmost priority in our lives, despite all the challenges, hurdles, and energies we have to spend as a grahastha. We have been granted this rarest opportunity, and this is only because of that divine grace. We acknowledge, we extend our utmost gratitude, and we keep praying to take us to the next level. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you. Okay. So hopefully we'll start today. The first verse which we just had a overview, as we call it, as the tip of the iceberg view last discourse. So today we'll go into depth. See, how I've structured it over here is, we take the shloka, we understand the word by word meaning, and then quarter by quarter meaning, like every shloka would have 4 quarters. And then as we decode what is to be meditated upon over here. See, remember, these are only meditative shlokas. And what are we meditating upon? We are meditating upon that supreme reality. And how do I understand that supreme reality? Is by knowing his qualities. And what are his qualities? What is not? They are his qualities. So this is a really challenging task. So I was thinking about this, how to make this more experiential, not knowledgeable. Knowledge we can get, but we have to get that experience. So a reason is, like, once you have the experience of this unlimitedness, unlimitedness, once you have that experience, then whatever you are bound by in your daily life, like fear, anxiety, worry, botheration, which causes, of course, tension. All these will just evaporate. Just evaporate. Like you must have seen when they're making some dosas, especially it at home or anywhere on the street side also, you see that hot pan is there. And on that pan, he just sprinkles some water. Where do you see the water? Everything gets evaporated. The moment he sprinkles water on the pan, it evaporates. So your state of mind will become like that pan. There will be nothing. Now why are we suffering is because we are confined in this jiva bhava. We are confined in this jiva bhava. And that jiva bhava which is confined has got a confined entity. And this confined entity has got its confined powers. And these confined powers keep bothering us because we don't have the necessary strength or the bandwidth to face the external challenges. So, how we have designed is, in fact, this thought just came in the morning. I'm taking Upanishadic statements which talk about that Parabrahman. Not that this shloka doesn't talk. This shloka also talks. But if you have to describe, if you are describing about that Parabrahman which cannot be described, Anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means it cannot be described. So what is not? That is mostly told over here. And here and there like existence, consciousness, which we have all seen. So those Upanishadic statements will take, and we will go into the depth of those Upanishadic statements and combine these two. So that will give you better clarity. And what we need to do, having understood this reality, you need to establish yourself in that reality. Being established in that knowledge, appearing as this jiva only, there is no difference. You are going to be the same. There will be no difference in you. If you are grey, if your hair has turned grey, it will not turn black. If you are fat, you will not become slim. Everything will be the same, but the bliss which is sprouting inside will give you what you were thriving for your entire life. Not only you, everybody, even a billionaire would be thriving for that. Even a most powerful person on this earth will be thriving for that. So that which is extremely indispensable or which is really looked forward, that will become yours. And this is purely, now you will see today, once you start understanding, it can be practiced every moment. It's up to you how much you want to practice. Every moment you have to practice this. The sad part is to breathe. For this body to live, you need oxygen. And the body is constantly breathing, involuntary function. It is breathing, it's gaining the necessary oxygen which is required, and the entire process is going on. But here what happens is, this is, as we know, this privilege of a very, very rare, special few. Now they have to get this knowledge. Now I was giving you the metaphor where now the army has attacked. The palace is inside the fort. And the army has already entered the fort. Any moment they can come to the palace. Now for the royal family members, they have the knowledge of the secret tunnel which will take them out of this palace to a distant place where they are safe again. Now that is not known to everybody. It is given to, that knowledge is given to only a few. Now if at that point, if you do not follow the person who says, come along with me, you are a part of the royal family, come, I'm taking you. You have to walk. If you don't walk, you will not be out of the palace. You will be there only. Although you know that this is the secret tunnel, but you will not be out of the palace which is under attack. So in the same way here, this is the knowledge which we have got, but we have to walk the knowledge. So put in all, and it's very simple. And not to tell you much, if God has brought us till this extent, He will also make you practice this, and He will also make you experience this. This is my belief. So be at it. See, that Shraddha what we have. We know that this is the topmost priority. And I am abiding in this priority. So that again is His thought only. Why is this not coming to everybody? Why that intensity differs from person to person? It is not our personal call. It is the call of that nature, that supreme reality. So we straight go into the shloka now and dissect it word by word and understand. And as I told you, wherever you have your doubts, please bring forth those doubts, clarify and move forward. It appears difficult, but at the same time it is very easy. So try to understand this. Come. So I'll take to verse 254. Jati niti kula gotra duragam nama rupa guna doshavarjitam desha kala vishayati vartiyad brahma tat-tvam-asi Bhavayatmani. Now you will see in all the 10 shlokas this Brahma Tat-tvam-asi Bhavayatmani. What does that mean? That Brahman thou art. Meditate on this in your mind. Brahma Tat-tvam-asi. Like we have this Upanishadic statement Tat-tvam-asi. So here he has added that thou art. So is it that Brahman thou art? Now we are going to go much more in depth on this. What is the meaning of that Brahman? Tat. And what is the meaning of this Tvam? That is me. And both are same. How do you say both are same? What is that within these two which is the same? That is what we need to catch. And the rest, if you see all the first three lines, all of them are what we are not. So we are again going to take the principle of Neti. Last time what we did, meditation? Meditation was about I am what? I am that pure consciousness. I am that pure consciousness in which all this is appearing. Okay, that is the meaning of Brahma Tat-tvam-asi Bhavayatmani. Bhavayatmani is meditate upon it. Brahma Tat-tvam-asi. That is the meaning of what I mentioned, saying that consciousness in which I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. Okay. Now then you repeat this several times to your mind and then use the next version which is Neti. Now just rest at this thought. You will see some various other thoughts coming to your mind. Neti, not this. Neti, not this. Do this for some time. And then again come back to the affirmative statement, saying Brahma Tat-tvam-asi, meaning I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. So now we'll relate it to the dream example, the waking state example, and we'll see how we can get hold of this meaning of this shloka. Okay. Now, let's go the word by word. You know why I'm going word by word here is, when you are meditating, you should be able to understand each and every word. Otherwise, it will not make sense. Jati, caste, species, class, whatever you call it. Jati. Niti. Niti is the customs, what we follow, the rules of conduct or tradition. Says no, a ghar ka parampara hai, what we would say. This is a rule which we are following. Kula, family. Gotra, lineage. Duram, I am far beyond this. He says this. And then again he goes, Nama, this name, what I have. Rupa, this form. Then again Guna, I have so many qualities, attributes. Dosha, defects. Varjitam, meaning I am free of all this. See, this whole study is trying to point to you and say, you are not what you have thought to be. This whole Advaitic study is about that only. You are not this sufferer or even experiencer, enjoyer. But if you see what is the amount of enjoyment compared to what is the amount of suffering, it's like people who have married will know. The amount of enjoyment what you have got initially when you got married, and if you compare to the whole span of life, that's all. What enjoyment is there? The enjoyment is so minimal, so marginal compared to the other challenges which you face in a married life. So in the same way it is for everybody in every part of life. Now if you take a life of, let's say, a person who is not married. Now let's say you're 40 or 50 or 60 or 70. What were your most lovable moments of your life? Your college days, where you were in the spur of youth and you were amongst your friends. Your hormonal burst is there in your body. That was the time, that phase of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. After that, what? Only challenges in life. So that way, free from or devoid of, varjitam. And then again it continues, desha. You are not this in a particular place or space. Kala, time. Vishaya means an object. Ativartyam, transcending. Yat means that Brahma, that Brahman, supreme, absolute, Tat-tvam-asi, thou art, meaning you are. Bhavaya, contemplate, meditate on this. Atmani, in yourself, as yourself. This is what? This word by word meaning. Okay, so now we take the first sentence. What is that now? Jati niti guna dosha varchitam. This self, it is beyond labels. Now you are this true self. Now don't get confused to be this person. You are beyond labels. That means you are not an Indian, you are not a Kshatriya, Brahmin, Vaishya, you are not of some Yalishatli Gotra or Navalya Gotra, or you are not a Reddy, Rao, Kulkarni, Sharma, Varma. You are not this, or a Gupta. You are not a male, you are not a female, you are not a father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, teacher, businessman, doctor, housewife. You are not all this. These identities are just name tags given to your body and your mind. Just like if you ask a child, where is the nose? He'll say nose. Where are your eyes? He'll say, these are my eyes. Where are your ears? He'll say, these are my ears. Where is your stomach? He'll show. Happily the child will show the stomach and laugh. So that way, these are not you. You cannot stick a label to a sky. So you have to negate. First, get that straight understanding. I thought to be this person. My name is so and so. I'm a wife to so and so, or husband to so and so. I'm a parent to so and so. I am a child or a daughter or a son of so and so. My profession is so and so. I live in so and so place. And my personal attributes are, I am brown, I am fair, I am dark, I am tall, I am short. I am intelligent, I am not so intelligent. I am talkative, or I am not talkative. See, all these are attributes. Now he says, get out of this. First and foremost, to know that you are not this. Okay. Now here we use the Neti principle. As I told you, now we have to constantly practice this Neti principle. Now this Neti, this comes from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 3.9.26. Now what does this say? Neti, meaning not this, not this. Just now as we said, if the thought comes to my mind, I'm tensed today. Not this. It's not you. The mind is tensed. I have pain in the body. You do not have pain in the body. The pain belongs to the body. I have pain, no? It belongs to the body. So in this way, now, this is one of the most powerful and very subtle methods of the Upanishads. How does it say? To indicate Brahman. Brahman, because the reason is, Brahman cannot be indicated saying he is this or he is that. Just like you can indicate what is a nose, what is a ear, what is a tongue, what is a cheek, you can indicate and show. But unfortunately, Brahman is not that. That is the challenge. So the Upanishad uses a method of negation. Like you want to, there is a group of people over there, and you want to point out to one particular person who is amongst the group. But now let's say that person cannot be described. For whatever reason, you are not able to describe him. So what you will do, let's say if there are 5 people, you will say he is one among the 5. So you will negate the 4. You will say, look, that person with that red shirt, he is not that. And there you can see one person who has a bald head. He is not the person. And third, you will say, see, that short person is there. He is not the person. And then you can see another dark person over there. Dark complexion. He is not the person. So then you say, oh, then I am able to find out the 5th one. The one who remains after the 4, he becomes the person what you're pointing out. Neti, not this, not this. For the simple reason that Brahman cannot be described in words. So whenever we try to define something, we point out to an object. We say this is a pot, this is a laptop, then this is a thought. So since Brahman is not an object, so every attempt to say Brahman is this will be completely wrong. So that's why we say Neti. This is a very good principle. Now everything that can be seen, heard, tasted, smelt, experienced, you have to start negating it. Because seeing comes from the eyes, tasting comes from the tongue, smelling comes from the nose, touch comes from the skin. So all these have to be negated. Body, not this. Mind, not this. Thoughts, not this. Emotions, not this. World, not this. Even subtle experiences, like you can say, I'm feeling blissful, not this. I'm feeling some kind of a void. Now, as you go into deeper meditations, you will experience this, some kind of a shunyata, voidness, not this. Light, not this. Neti, neti, neti. And after negating everything which is objectionable, one may say, this also comes to your mind, I'm forewarning, nothing remains. What are you saying? You said even for that bliss, for that emptiness, for that blankness, you are saying, say neti neti, then what remains? Is the one, that one who remains is the one who is negating. The pure awareness cannot be negated. But you cannot negate you can negate an object, but you cannot negate the subject. That awareness is Brahman. So far good? Now, next question. Why you have to say Neti Neti 2 times? You can just say Neti, no? No, but you are saying 2 times Neti Neti. So, this simply means we are in the normal course engrossed by 2 important aspects. One is the gross aspect, one is the subtle aspect. So you are saying not the gross, not the subtle. Or it is like saying not anything which is known or not anything which is unknown. Broader classification. So we are trying to remove all these misidentifications which are there. So like the Upanishad says, Brahman is not known by the mind. We are going to take this in the future understandings. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Brahman is the source of everything. So one says it cannot be known by the mind, and another Taittiriya Upanishad says Brahman is the source of everything, and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says Brahman is not any of the objects that appear. So which means Brahman is not an object, Brahman is the substratum of all objects and is the very self. See, we are going deeper and deeper. Now imagine there is a sculptor who is making a statue. What does he do? Does he create the statue directly? If you carefully observe, he removes everything in that stone which is not the part of a statue. Eventually, that is what he does. Similarly, you don't create Brahman. You are removing all the wrong identifications which I have on me as Brahman. I am putting a name to Brahman. I am putting an attribute to Brahman, a quality that I am short-tempered, I am peaceful, I am intelligent, I am not so intelligent. See, I am putting all this to Brahman. Now we are trying to remove this. That's all. Just like a sculptor is removing the extra stone. Now, like say there is one stone is like that round shaped stone. Now he has to give a shape to the nose, to the eyes. So all that extra is removing. He is not really creating anything. He is removing all what is not to be there. Take our classic example, the rope and snake in dim light. What happens? You see a snake in that twilight, dim light. And as you see a snake, you inquire. Then you say, Neti, Neti. No, there is no snake over here. It's not a snake. What did you do? Understand. The rope alone was there. You did not create a rope by saying, Neti, Neti. What you did was, with your knowledge and understanding, you removed the false snake which was on the rope. Just like that. What is there false on you? You are removing it. Which is not me. Which is not me. So when you sit quietly and suddenly a thought comes to your mind, Neti, not this. Another emotion comes to your mind, not this. Another incident comes to your mind, not this. I've got nothing to do with this. So I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the thoughts. And you will see eventually as you go subtler and subtler and subtler, you will see that I am that pure awareness. without attributes, because now all the attributes you have removed, without limitation. That is that Brahman. So, in short, how do we understand this? By negating everything that cannot be objectified. Not this, not this. Sorry, negating everything that can be objectified. Anything which comes to your mind, it may come as a thought, as a perception, as a feeling, as an emotion, whatever you get to your mind, it is objectified. Anything which is objectified, remove it off. What remains is that inexpressible, ever-present, all-pervading awareness, which is Brahman. Okay? Now, as we practice this, I am this awareness, I am this consciousness in which all this is appearing. I'll give you 3 versions. As you go to the second and then to the third, you go to the more deeper versions. So the first version is, you are sitting in meditation. My true nature is consciousness. Okay? You're saying my true nature is that infinite existence consciousness. This body, mind, senses, and all that which is living and non-living in this world are nothing but appearances in that consciousness. This is much easier to understand, so you'll go by this particular thought. Then after doing for a few days or a few weeks, then you cut short this. You say, I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. And in all this is appearing in the sense, what is this here? Your body, mind, senses, first you and the world around. This. Everything is this. I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. Now you go to the third most subtler aspect, where you don't even say that consciousness, because when you say that, you are objectifying something. You just say I am. I am. I am indicates that existence, consciousness. I am in which all this is appearing. I am in which all this is appearing. Do this for about 10 times, you say this. And then allow your mind to settle. Know that I am in which all this is appearing. Now suddenly, what is appearing? Suddenly a thought may come to your mind. An emotion may come to your mind. A feeling may come to your mind. A perception. You may listen to a sound because you have kept your eyes closed. You may listen to a sound, a thought. All these which come, you say, not this, not this, not this. Do this for about, say, 10 times again. And then again go into that deep silence and move to the original affirmative state. I am in which all this is appearing. I am in which all this is appearing. Now, what is that I am in which? That we will learn by the Tat-tvam-asi. I will show you exactly, we'll do this experiment now. How do I connect? What is this? The moment I talk about me, immediately my mind comes in front of me. But you have to negate it. Then what do I stick on to? So that when we study that Tat-tvam-asi, I'll explain to you how to understand this. Okay? So now where were we? We were talking about the Neti principle, one of the dashing principles to get established in that Parabrahman which is anirvachaniya, inexplainable, inexpressible, which cannot be perceived. So now, just like a gold, as gold is gold, regardless of ornament and its names, so in the same way the self is touched by attributes and flaws. See, now when you have a gold ornament, now that gold ornament, looking at itself, it knows, okay, I am weighing about 30 grams. And it looks at some other object, other gold ornaments next to it, which are weighing some 5-10 grams, and it feels proud. Now, how is this coming? You see all the Shadripus which are there. Because it is heavier than the others, it feels proud. And then it look what design I have got on me. And what is that? Useless. No design at all. Ordinary design. That gives pride. Now, after some time, it turns its head to the other side and it sees there is a 100-gram ornament. And it starts feeling jealous. And it starts feeling angry. Why am I made like this? What did I do? This is my fate. I see this always. I was getting some joy somewhere. Suddenly this happens in my life. See? Why? Because you are limiting yourself in that one ornament. Now imagine this ornament has got the knowledge that it is no more the ornament. It is gold and gold alone. Everywhere it looks only at the gold. It does not look at this is heavy, this is light, this is beautiful, this is not so beautiful. It is not looking at the attributes. It is looking at the tattva, the essence. And it just says, I am gold, that is gold, this is gold, everything around me is gold. And I am one with everything, and everything is one with me. This is what we need to understand over here. So you have to use this concept of existence. Go to that root. Gold ornament, forgetting that it is ornament, forgetting the attributes in terms of its weight, design, shape, size, price, forgetting all that, going to the basic root of existence. Now it dwells in that existence. Now that is what we have to practice, understand, and then practice. Now here we can also use the other examples. Water. Water can be ice. Water can be steam. So the same water, when it is freezed, it becomes an ice cube. When it is put on a flame, it becomes a steam. So look at sugar. Sugar is there in all the sweets which is around. If you look at a particular sweet and say this is having this kind of a taste and this is having this kind of a shape and the price of this sweet is, this is a very expensive sweet, but ultimately there is sugar in all the sweets. So likewise, now body, mind, we are all bound by this space and time. So he is trying to say over here, you have to discard those attributes. Get out of those attributes. Know that, behind all the electronic gadgets in the house, there is electricity. Whatever it may be a bulb, it may be a tube light, it may be a fan, it may be an AC, it may be a water cooler, a fridge, a mixie, washing machine, AC, all this. Know that all these are the end users, the gadgets, attributes to that electricity which is functioning through all this. Just like as you see on a screen, a film screen, a movie screen, every character which comes on the screen is nothing but that projector and the light. On that one screen which is unchangeable, that light keeps changing, brings in different characters, but know that you are that screen. So now we come to the Tattva. After the Neti, we come to Tat-tvam-asi. Before that, something I would like to again emphasize on one particular Upanishadic statement in Kathopanishad. It is Kathopanishad 1.3.4. Now what this statement says is, Yan manasa na manute yenahur manomatam tadeva brahma tvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yachakshusha na pashyati yena chakshumshi pashyati tadeva brahma tvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Now what this says? See, now we are going into that deep understanding. I want to get established, giving out all the attributes. Any moment, anywhere, in any experience, I want to see that experience of Brahman. That is what we are trying to achieve over here. So I am just giving you a background of the mind. So what the Upanishad says is, Kathopanishad, that which the mind cannot think of, which we are already aware, but because of which the mind is able to think. Understand this. I cannot think of that supreme reality, but because of this mind, because of that supreme reality, this mind is able to think. So every experience, now here we are only talking about the mind. You can substitute it with every other perceptory organs, like eyes, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting, walking, all the 5 Jnanendriyas and the 5 Karmendriyas, walking, talking, grasping, then your genital functions and the anal functions, all these 5 Karmendriyas are all happening because of that consciousness. So he uses the word here, that which the eye cannot see. We said, no, it cannot be explained, it cannot be seen, it cannot be heard, it cannot be tasted, it cannot be smelt. So he's using one organ here. That which the eye cannot see, but because of which the eyes see, that know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship as an object. He brings this again over here. This is the Saguna Brahma, not to mistake over here. Saguna Brahma is what you are worshipping as an object. Go beyond that Saguna Brahma to the Nirguna Brahma. Every day before a meal, I follow a process. See if you all can also follow this. So it gives you that clarity. Parabrahma, that is the Nirguna Brahma. You first know that Nirguna Brahma, Parabrahma is there. From now, which I cannot see, I cannot hear, I cannot touch, I cannot experience. Okay, but now we'll be learning how to experience that. From him comes the Maya Shakti, his Maya Shakti. Just like fire is there. Fire not only gives light. Now if you want, in the olden days there were no electricity, no bulbs. So what they used to do, they used to light a lamp wherever they wanted, brightness and light. But along with that brightness and light, it has got a second power, which is heat. So fire also gives heat. In the same way here, now what you are understanding here is, from that Parabrahman, with his Maya Shakti, he creates Ishvara. Now the Saguna starts. From Ishvara comes the Trimurtis. You have to visualize Brahma, Mata Saraswati, Mahavishnu, Mahalakshmi, then Shiva and Parvati. Now from Parvati comes Prakriti. And from Prakriti, now the Prakriti starts creating the universe. So there it says Akashat, first Akashat, from Akashat Vayor, Vayor Agnihi. Akasha is space, from space comes Vayor is air, and from air comes the Agni, Agnir Apaha. From the Agni comes Apaha, that is the fire. This is how the evolution has happened, all the 5 elements. And Apaha Prithvihi. From water comes earth. Then from Prithvi, Prithver Annam. No, Aushadeya. Aushadeya is the herbs. From Aushadeya comes Annam. And from Annam, from Akashat Vayu Agnir, Agnir Purush, Agnir Vayu, Prithvi, Aushadeya Annam. You get food. And from food comes Purushaha. Means all the human beings, non-human beings. Because non-human beings are also created by the 5 elements. So in this way you have to visualize the entire chain of creation. From the uppermost Parabrahman, you have come to this chain. Once you get into your mind, what happens is it just comes automatically in your mind. And then there you know that this food which has come from that Parabrahman is going where? It is entering Parabrahman again. Because you yourself are none other than that Parabrahman in the manifested form. So this thought, when you consume your food, what happens is that food which is giving you energy, which is giving you the thoughts from time to time, which is giving you the prana from time to time, and which is nourishing you continuously, the food and water. Of course, the air is there. So all these are backed with the knowledge of that Parabrahman. So naturally the outcome is that only. As they say, if you eat food in an angry mood, that anger will become a part of you. So as they say, when you are eating, you should be calm. If you are angry, don't eat. First do some deep breathing or sit for some time. Allow your mind to settle and then only eat. It is an yajna. You cannot offer anything you want into the yajna. You have to offer the right havis. In the same way, in that yajna, when you are putting in food, now what are you mixing that food with? What thought you are mixing that food with? So incorporate all this chain of creation, right from the Parabrahman to this food which is in front of you, and which is now going to enter you as a jiva, and it goes to the fire within you, which is nothing but a homakunda. Brahma arpanam, Brahma havihi, Brahma agno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. Everything is Brahman over here. So this thought should, when you have eaten food with that thought, that energy which comes from that food will constantly support you to be in that thought. So now this Upanishad here, it gives that subtle teaching. Brahman is not an object that mind can grasp. Oh my dear, understand this. So the mind can think of a pot, it can think of a laptop, it can think of a mobile, it can think of a car, it can think of a movie, it can think of a person, a concept, a holiday, all this. Even a deity also, but Brahman is not one more thought amongst various other thoughts. You cannot bring it as a thought. So the mind itself is known because of consciousness. Catch this. Any experience you are having, pratibodha viditam matam amrutatva vindyate. I cannot see my eyes. But I know that I have eyes because I am able to see. Can you see your eyes? You may see an image of your eyes, but can the eyes see the eyes alone? No. So the mind cannot catch Brahman, just as the eyes cannot see the very power because of which seeing happens. Yan manasa na manute. Brahman is not thought by the mind. Yena ahur manomatam. But by Brahman alone the mind becomes capable of thinking. So don't go to the thought. Go to that power which thinking is happening. Don't go to what you have heard. Go to that power of hearing, because that is consciousness. Don't get lost in the taste. Know that you are able to taste because of that power. Yat chakshusha pashyati. Brahman is not seen by the eye. Yena chakshumshi pashyati. But because of Brahman alone, the eyes are able to see. So the teaching here is, Brahman is not the seen. Brahman is not the thought. Brahman is not the object of experience. You are defying the Triputi. Karta, Karana, Karya. All the three you are defying over here. And that is the very basis of Neti principle to get established in that Parabrahman. We all are struggling because we are not negating. Brahman is the very light because of which all experiences are known. A simple example, a torchlight. If you take a torchlight and it will illumine all the dark objects, all the objects in a dark room, but the torch cannot illumine the electricity because of which it shines. Now you have charged the torch, and because of electricity it got charged, but it cannot illumine. In the same way, mind can know objects, but it cannot objectify consciousness, because consciousness is the very power by which the mind knows. So, Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi. Know that alone as Brahman. Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi. Know that alone as Brahman. Na idam yadidam upasate. Not this objectified thing which people worship as this Parabrahman. No. This does not actually reject or worship, but it says that the highest Brahman, go above that. From this Saguna, go to Nirguna. So it only says that that highest Brahman is not merely an object of worship. So this is what we need to now slowly, because the final truth is that formless awareness, because of which even worship, devotion, thought, sight, emotion, that bhav what you get, sometimes you can see tears in your eyes flowing without your knowledge when you are in front of a deity. That is an experience. All this is happening because of that consciousness. Don't get lost in the thought. Don't get lost in the object. Don't get lost in the perception. But know that all this thought, perception, experience is happening because of that consciousness. Okay. Now again, we have still not understood how to catch hold of that consciousness. We will do it in Tat-tvam-asi. We'll move forward now. Okay. Now we'll just close our eyes and see something, whatever you can see. First see something, close your eyes. And then what you will say, I saw that. Let's say in front of you you have a plant, let's say. You saw the plant. Now, what we have to do here is see that object and take a few deep breaths. Now, once you get the art of, now what are we doing? We are not objectifying something. We want to know the subject behind the object. Okay? So breathe gently for a few, take a few breaths rather, and then rest your mind as presence. Now this is very important, understand this. Rest your mind as presence, not as the seer. Seer means what? I am seeing. I don't know, I think my eyes are tired. Then it's not very clear. Morning I was able to see this plant very clearly when I got up and I was sitting here having my cup of coffee. But now in the evening somehow that plant is not very clear. See, these are all the thoughts, perceptions. So you see something, take a few breaths, deep breaths, and then just move into the state of presence, not as the seer. Seer meaning as a person, as an entity, as an individual. No. You are that in which all this is appearing. Do this. Let's close our eyes. See something. Now that object what you have seen is in the mind. Take a few deep breaths. Slowly inhale and exhale about 3 times. Now, what you have to do, which is very unusual, is no apprehension, no comprehension, no affiliation about any thought or about you as a person who has seen that. You have completely forgotten about the object and you as a person who is the subject. Now you are in that state of presence without any thought, just awareness. As soon as a thought comes about yourself or about, as I told you, it was clear in the morning, now why it is looking so blur. Neti, Neti, Neti. Just withdraw yourself from that thought. Not the body, not the prana, not the mind, not the intellect, not even that bliss sheath. End with, I am the witnessing consciousness. Now we come to the core aspect, Tat-tvam-asi, where Mahavakya this is, Tat-tvam-asi. What does it say? Tat, that limitless consciousness. Tvam, that present I sense, which you just now experienced as that presence. These two are one. Not you as that limited entity, as a body is equal to that Paramatma. No. Bring in this experience of that presence, which is devoid of everything. There is no mind, there is no thought, there is no person, there is no attribute, there is no perception, there is no emotion, there is nothing over there. That presence, Tvam, is that Tat. Tat is that consciousness. So now how do I apply this in my daily life? Whenever you see something, before the mind takes over and starts making its judgments, stop for a while. You can do this at every point of time. In fact, this is known as metacognition, which is the highest form of study which the scientists are now talking about, which is much, much greater than developing an IQ or developing high intelligence, developing high memory, whatever you can talk about in terms of a super brain. Metacognition is an act where mind watching the mind. So now what you're doing here, you come to a state of presence. And in that state of presence, you say Tat-tvam-asi. Tat, that consciousness. Tvam, this presence. Now we are not attributing to this body also. That's the reason I told the most subtlest of the 3 quotations I gave you. I am in which all this is appearing. Now when you say I am, you have not attributed to this body, you have attributed to that Tat, that consciousness. I am. Initially we started saying, my true nature is that infinite existence, consciousness, in which this body, mind, senses, and living and non-living beings are appearing. From there you graduate to I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. And then you remove that consciousness also. I am in which all this is appearing. So this is how you slowly spike and move on, move on, move on. So this is how you have to learn the art of grasping that presence. And you can also do as a homework, for a few days what you do is one label, you can do 2-3 minutes also. No, you don't have to do for long time. One label to drop. Oh, I am a headmaster, or I am a businessman, or I am a general manager of so and so company. That profession, remove it. This belongs to this body. I am a male, I am a husband, or I am, where you are talking of gender, age, I am young, whatever. Now, success, all these one by one you remove attributes to yourself. Say, I am not this, I am not this. That will be able to take you much faster on the route of coming to the state of presence. Okay, so this way we have to graduate, slowly move forward and be established in that presence. Jati niti guna dosha varjitam. So I don't have any jati, niti, kula, gotra, nama, rupa. All this I don't have. Then comes desha kala vishayati vartiyata. All of this Vedanta has been in this one phrase. Desha kala vishaya ati vartiyata. I am beyond all this. What does this mean? Limitless infiniteness. Desha kala vishaya. How do you say this? Because what is that which is infinite? That which transcends desha. Desha is space. Space is limited. You are in a particular place. But here it says that presence of yours is such that it is not in one particular place. Just like oxygen, it's there all around. It's not that, okay, it's available only in a particular place. Okay, it's available in Bengaluru or in Hyderabad or in Chennai or in Mumbai, not there in any other place or in any other country. No. So it is there on the planet in all the places. Of course, up to a particular height, and then it goes on reducing. Another example is the atoms. Atoms are there in each and every part of existence. It's not that atoms are there only in plants, it's not there in animals, not there in humans. No. So this desha, limitation of space, what we are talking is where it is there inside, it is not there outside. Not that. Space is appearance. In fact, space is an appearance in consciousness. Consciousness is not in space. Space is in consciousness. So not limited by space means all pervading. Desha. Now you may say, how big is this room? You may say 10 by 15 or 15 by 20. That's the size of the room. How big is the space of the space in a pot? You may have this size of a pot. So yes, this much is the space in a pot. Bigger than this is the space in a room. Bigger than this is the space in an auditorium. So all these spaces are constrained by the boundaries. The pot outer surface has a boundary. The room walls has a boundary. The auditorium walls has a boundary. But consciousness is all pervading. So once you remove the boundaries, now the attributes which you have on yourself, which the mind has created. Now what is the purpose of the mind? The purpose of the mind is to keep you in ignorance, not to take you to the state of infinity, not take you to the state of that eternity. It only shows that you are this limited, suffering, now and then enjoying a little bit personality, jiva. So these boundaries, they belong to the container and not to the space. So imagine yourself, I am that space which is in consciousness. So you are graduating from this particular person to that entire space, and again from this space you are going to the consciousness. So from that small space you go to a bigger space, and then imagine this entire space is in consciousness, and consciousness is beyond that space. So drishyam, which is the seen, is limited, but that seer become a seer not as you as a person, but as that Atma, Paramatma, which is there in everybody. Everybody has got an experience because of the reflected consciousness. Chetana Shakti. Chaitanya at the outer level, and when it reflects on the mind, it's called in a different name, Chetana. That's all. So that Chaitanya Shakti reflecting on the mind, called as Chetana Shakti, is enlivening the particular individual, that body. So now you should understand what is the size of the space we are talking about. It takes about 8 minutes for that light from the sun to reach the earth. And at what speed it is traveling? 2,99,792 kilometers per second. Which means what? 108 crore kilometers per hour speed now that is traveling light. 108 crore kilometers per hour. Can you imagine that speed? And our galaxy has got 1 lakh light years. That is the span of our galaxy. This is where we are. So even when we are trying to understand this space, this is the vastness of this entire creation. And that space itself is inside that awareness. So when you know that you are the seer, not in this limited person, but when you expand yourself outside the jivatva, imagine what strength you are getting. You know, Niels Bohr, who lived in the 19th century. Now what he says is a Danish physicist who actually found the quantum theory. He proposed the Bohr model of the atom, and he won the Nobel Prize in 1922. He said, if you are not shocked by quantum theory, you have not understood quantum theory. He just simply said that. This should be shocking to you. This quantum theory is, you have to be shocked. Then only you have understood it. Just like if you watch a movie and come. If you are not thrilled with the ending of the movie, then you have not understood the suspense of the movie. In the same way. Because you see some people, what is there in this movie? Some people they are zapped. And somebody is saying, what movie? I didn't understand this. So if you are not thrilled with the ending of the movie, that means you have not understood the suspense of the movie. So here, this one great professor who teaches in the Cambridge University by name Ankur Barua, he says, if you are not shocked by Advaita Vedanta, you have not understood Advaita Vedanta, at least what it's claiming. You understood? So it should shock you. Now from where you are taking us to where? What are you telling us? You are telling that 108 crore kilometers speed per hour which is traveling, and we have 1 lakh light years of such kind. This is the vastness of space which is growing every year on year. Now you mean to say this kind of a space is in me? Yes. That is the jolt which we should get. If you are able to stay in that presence, not in this Jiva Bhava, as a person, remove the identity of your name, your gender, your status, your profession. Remove everything. For that you have to just tell your mind, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. Anything which comes to your mind, I'm not this. I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. Or next, I am in which all this is appearing. Any objectified thing comes, not this. And then again go back to the affirmating, I am in which all this is appearing. So we'll take up this after this Desha, Kala, Vastu, and then we'll move to the next shloka. So very powerful understanding what we got. Anything, I reiterate, anything which we see, close your eyes, take a deep breath and stay in that thought of presence without any attributes. I saw this. There is so much dust on what I saw. This is not that great which I saw. No attributes, no definitions, no remarks. Just be the presence, not the seer. Now what we are doing, there is something which is seen and there is a seer. Remove your status from the seer. I am not the seer anymore. You are breaking that triputi and know that I am that present state. Just keep doing this and leave the rest to God. He has brought us here. He has given us this knowledge. Have your faith and surrender in Him and see how miracles happen. And the only beauty here is nothing will disturb you. What more do we want in life? There is nothing to disturb you. You are merged with that enormous power of the universe. That's what we need to achieve over here. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. So we take the verse number 56, 529, Satya dharma of Sri Vishnu Sahasranama. Let's read the verse. अजो महार्य स्वाभाव्यो जितामित्र प्रमोदनः आनंदो नंदनो नंद सत्य धर्मा त्रिविक्रमः. Satya dharma, the penultimate nama of this particular shloka 56. One who has in himself all the true dharmas: kindness, non-injury, charity, etc., are considered as the noble dharmas. Sri Narayana is one in whom we find all these dharmas to the maximum. In short, he is the embodiment of yoga, called as Yogeshwara. It also means that one who is rich in the experience of the Supreme Self. For the Upanishad says, this alone is the Supreme Dharma, which is to experience the Self through yoga. Ayam hi paramo dharmaha yad yogena atma darshanam. This alone is the Supreme Dharma, which is to experience the Self through yoga. What we have learned today? Swadharma, Satya Dharma. There is no greater Dharma for you. Dharma means the quality. The Dharma of sugar is sweetness. The Dharma of salt is saltiness. So the Dharma of a Jiva is to experience the Self through this yoga. Yoga is yuj, join. Join with what? That presence. What we are all looking forward is be in that presence without any attributes. Anything which comes to your mind, say, I am not this, I am not this. And again go back to that presence. We'll chant the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapadaye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Our humble salutations to Lord Dhanvantari to give us the requisite amount of health at the body, mind, senses level to grasp the highest knowledge of Swadharma. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Now let's do the affirmation and the Neti as we did last time. Affirmation will be saying, I am that consciousness. I will read all the three affirmations which you can do to a subtler level, and then we go to the Neti and again come back to affirmations. Okay, please sit in a comfortable situation. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Take a few deep breaths. Now we do the affirmations part. My true nature is the infinite existence consciousness. This body, mind and senses and all that is living, non-living in this world are nothing but appearances in that consciousness. The next subtler level, I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. The subtlest, I am in which all this is appearing. As we are all aware, the waking state is a state wherein the mind, along with the body and senses, experiences the world of objects, which is a waking state. The same mind, discarding the body and the senses, generates a world of its own with living, non-living entities, experiences all sorts of joys and sorrows, pain and pleasure, honor and dishonor, and experiences the dream world. Now the same mind dissolves itself. So there is neither the mind, nor the body, nor the senses. And here is an experience of nothingness. That is a deep sleep state. Now, just like you have experienced and understood after waking up from a dream, you know that the whole dream world was nothing but your mind generated world. Now an enlightened sadhak knows that the waking world is nothing but the dream of the consciousness, which is using the mind as well as the body and senses. Hence, the waking world appears more realistic to any jiva. Consciousness is that which is experiencing its own dream as the waking world, with the body, mind and senses, and consciousness with mind alone, without the body and senses, experiences the dream state, and consciousness with neither of these three experiences the deep sleep state. So all experiences are in consciousness. The so-called you or I is out of sheer ignorance, which is an illusion. Hence you need to say, not this, not this, not this, not this. Feel the presence in every perception and action and say, I am that in which all this is appearing. Come out of the boundaries which you have created by ignorance. Break your shackles and release yourself to become one with that infinite existence consciousness. Unless and until you come out of this identity, this limited jivatva, you can never say Tat-tvam-asi. Tat-tvam-asi will be true to the core when you compare that Tvam, the presence in you without any attributes, to the Tat, which is that infinite existence consciousness. Let's reason out the existence consciousness to greater and deeper levels in our future classes, and get more and more established in that supreme truth. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. Naham Karta, Hari Karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Prityartam, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. So we have gone very deep. I hope you are able to grasp it. If you have not grasped it, then listen to it once again or another time. You'll be able to get it. Thank you. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
रणभेरी बजने को थी, कुरुक्षेत्र तैयार था। धर्म और धर्म के बीच खड़ा पूरा संसार था। एक और थे 5 पांडव, दूजी ओर कौरव अपार। बीच में लेटे थे कान्हा, करने को अंतिम स्वीकार। हे गोविंद हे मुरारी, तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी। जिसने मांगा तुझे उसने सब पा लिया, जिसने छोड़ा तुझे उसने जग खो दिया। हे गोविंद हे मुरारी। दुर्योधन आया पहले, अहंकार सर पे चढ़ा। जाके सिरहाने वो अभिमानी बनकर खड़ा। फिर आए अर्जुन प्यारे, नैनों में नीर भरे। जा बैठे चरणों में जैसे बालक धीर धरे। प्रभु ने आंखें खोली, पार्थ को पहले निहारा। दुर्योधन बोला, केशव पहला हक है हमारा। अहंकार ना झुका कभी, प्रेम सदा झुक जाता है। जो तेरे चरणों में बैठे वो तुझे ही पाता है। बोले मोहन मुस्कुरा के, सुनी दोनों की पुकार। एक तरफ मेरी सेना, अस्त्र शस्त्रों का भंडार। दूजी तरफ मैं अकेला, ना उठाऊंगा हथियार। बोलो क्या चाहिए तुम्हें, कर लो अपना विचार। दुर्योधन मन में हर्षाया, सेना उसने मांग ली। सोचा निहत्थे थे कान्हा से, क्या जीतेगी ये मंडली। हंस पड़ा वो मूर अभिमानी, समझा नहीं तेरी बानी। पर 5 पांडव रो पड़े, अर्जुन ने चरण पकड़ लिए। बोले नाथ न सेना चाहिए, ना राज चाहिए। हमें तो बस रण में आपका साथ चाहिए। हे गोविंद हे मुरारी, तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी। जिसने मांगा तुझे उसने सब पा लिया, जिसने छोड़ा तुझे उसने जग खो दिया। हे गोविंद हे मुरारी, तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी। माधव तुम ही सारथी, तुम ही हो पतवार। 5 नहीं हम एक हैं, जब तुम हो पालनहार। भीम युधिष्ठिर नकुल सहदेव, सबने शीश झुकाया। दुर्योधन ले गया सेना, पांडवों ने ईश्वर पाया। भीर देख जो फूला था, वो अंत समय पछताया। जो गिरधर के संग हो लिया, उसका काल भी क्या कर पाया। हे गोविंद हे मुरारी, तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी। जिसने मांगा तुझे उसने सब पा लिया, जिसने छोड़ा तुझे उसने जग खो दिया। हे गोविंद हे मुरारी, तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी। जीता वो नहीं जिसके पास जमाना था, जीता वो जिसे केवल शाम को पाना था। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।